Most artists are scared to push color because we've been told that the color we find in nature is more muted than we think. But what would happen if we ignored all that advice and experiment with color?
Here's my palette: titanium white, cata orange, yellow medium, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, alizarin crimson, cobalt blue, permanent purple, phthalo blue, sap green, and viridian. There's not a lot of color in the sky today. It's very hazy. The water's kind of gray and muddy, green, brown. So I'm gonna try to find ways to put color into the painting. I'm just gonna experiment today and see what happens.
The last painting I did on the river turned out to be a bit boring. It wasn't a terrible painting, it just was bland in the color department. So I gave myself a simple assignment today. I'm going to go against my instincts to play it safe and push color saturation as much as possible.
As you can see, there's some oranges and browns, yellow ochre in these rocks. You see the turquoise there. I'll try to keep that in. It's very subtle, but it's there.
While I paint, I'd like to share 3 artists that inspire me with their superb use of color. Today we're looking at Sorolla, Levitan, and Bierstadt, who each use color in radically different ways. These 3 artists were truly masters of color. I'm going to butcher this name, but Joaquín Sorolla was known as the painter of light. Where others saw sun and shadow, Sorolla saw 1,000 variations of warm whites, cool blues, and golden light shimmering on skin and sea. But here's the secret. His whites weren't actually white. They were laced with lavender, rose, and ochre, colors reflecting every nuance of the environment. His paintings feel like memories, fleeting, bright, full of movement. What made Sorolla's colors so different was his fearless use of light as an emotion. Isaac Levitan was the poet of landscape painters. Where Sorolla was bold and bright, Isaac Levitan was quiet, almost whispered. He painted the Russian countryside not just as it looked, but as it felt, with soft, melancholic tones of gray-green, violet, and blue. His skies weren't dramatic, they were brooding. His forests weren't vibrant, they were thoughtful, almost meditative. Levitan's genius wasn't in color that shouted, but in color that lingered, that made you stop and feel something you couldn't quite name. Levitan gave us serenity. His color told stories of longing, solitude, and spiritual connection with the land. And then there's Albert Bierstadt. His landscapes are jaw-dropping. He painted the American West like a cathedral, full of glowing clouds, crystal lakes, and sun rays pouring from heaven. Bierstadt's color wasn't subtle, it was grand, dramatic, and idealized. His golden light wasn't just from nature, it was from the imagination. He wasn't painting what he saw, he was painting what he wanted to believe, that nature is pure, untouched, and sublime. Through rich blues, glowing oranges, and misty golds, Bierstadt gave us a vision of awe. So what can we take away from these 3 great masters of color? Well, they weren't following trends, and they weren't trying to match someone else's palette. They each found a unique way to speak through color. Sorolla used color to capture joy and movement. Levitan used it to express mood and meaning, and Bierstadt used it to create wonder and scale. Each one trusted their emotional response to nature, and they honed their color to match this emotion. It's commonly taught that artists shouldn't paint what they think they know or what they feel, but instead paint methodically exactly what we see. Perhaps this is a good place to start, but at what point should we splash bold color onto the canvas? And how far should we go with it? I personally don't want to feel trapped into painting safe or holding back color. Maybe by holding back, we will never fully realize who we are as artists. Which one of these three artists' approach to color resonates with you most? Drop a comment below and share what you like about this artist. And if you're on your own painting journey, subscribe for more inspiration every week. Hey, buddy.
So I brought the painting home, and after looking at it, I realized that I didn't push the color enough. I actually played it a little bit safe on the river, so I'm gonna try to remedy that. I'm gonna put a little bit more vibrancy into the painting and see what happens. I'm gonna put some oranges and some more warmth into the scene. All right, so here's the finished piece. I put a lot of work into it. I had to rework the water a few different times. I finally got it to where I like it. Every color of the rainbow in here, there's reds, orange, pinks, emerald, green, blue, violet, you name it, it's in there. The color is a little bit too bold for my taste. I like Levitan's approach the best. More subtle, but in certain areas to really give it an emphasis. There's reds in the trees, which I don't ever do. I like the reflection in the water. Yeah, the color's too bold, but you know, that was the assignment, right? You never know until you try. So I just pushed the limits with color today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm gonna call this one finished and move on to the next one.